Yeah, I can start. I think summer is a big separation season for us. Obviously, we don't have organized stuff together on the court for Ivy League, but I think it's a really good time to kind of focus on what you individually need to work on. So it's a lot of watching film at the beginning of summer with the coaches and stuff and looking at things that you need to work on and then going in your own time and making sure that you're getting those reps in. I think we did a really good job as a team too, just getting numbers from around the New York area of just other players to kind of pick up games going and working on things that you haven't worked on for a long time. And I think summer's where you can try new things, get better. It doesn't matter if you make a couple mistakes. It doesn't matter. There's nothing on the line. So you kind of can really push yourself in the summer. And I think that's what's so great about it. And I think we did a good job at kind of challenging ourselves this summer.
Yeah.
Any particular skills any of you worked on?
This girl working on pull-up. That pull-up game is going real strong right now.
Yeah, shooting off the dribble, pull-ups. I think defense, like just challenging myself to get up, even in pick-up, even though it doesn't matter at all. Just getting up on the ball, kind of making it difficult, getting fitter in that area. So, yeah.
Yeah, I would say overall, like my fitness, being able to play 40 minutes a game is like a big thing for me, as well as just like working inside and out. So working on my ball handling, my passing, just being an overall threat offensively, and then just working on things so I can be a better defensive player. So just like working on my vertical and then also like picking up the ball full court, just being able to move better, all things I can do just to be a better player overall.
Nice.
Yeah, I think going off P, like, I worked a ton on my movement. Coming from my previous school, that wasn't really a priority for a lot of people. So coming here and working with Debbie, our movement coach, she's helped me a ton as far as like defensively, trying not to being as efficient as I can moving around the court, and then also a bunch of us pledged to hit 25,000 makes in the summer, which we tracked every single week. So we would count our makes for the week, put them into a spreadsheet document, and then a bunch of us hit 25,000 makes. So that was another big thing, just like growing our team accountability and holding each other accountable, because obviously as an Ivy League team, we can't be together the whole summer. Like I know Kitty was doing an internship with Goldman Sachs. Pear, you were working with Baylor, right? Mm-hmm. So a bunch of us are kind of doing our own thing a lot during the day. So we want to make sure that we're holding each other accountable. Yeah. That's a good question. I think we really preach like player-led program. So as much as like the responsibility is on us as seniors and on us as captains, it's also like on every other person as well. So we think like everyone can be a leader in their role. So as much as like we have to hold each other accountable and we have to hold people up to the standard, every person has to hold themselves and other people to that standard. So we just want to make sure we're looking right and left every day, and the person to our right or to our left is maintaining that standard and our culture. So to kind of like summarize for your question, I think it's like obviously on us three to like make sure we're maintaining that culture every single day, but at the same time, like down the line, every person has to like hold up their end of the bargain as well.
Yeah, and I think the good thing about having so many new people is that they are very eager to like be a part of everything. So that does make it very easy to lead in a lot of ways, but obviously there is a big gap between where we are and where they are. So it's a lot of accountability, like Cece said, to bring them to that standard. But the good thing is that they are buying into it and they are getting there really quickly. So yeah,
I think that's a good question because we talk about this a lot. Anytime we do like competitions in practice, a lot of times we'll do Team USA versus World. So obviously she's World, we're Team USA. But we do notice like a lot of the like international girls, they're super smart, but they're not as like outgoing as someone like
Mia and Nasi, who are so overly competitive.
Just like I feel like it helps a lot when they hang out with each other, because I think they bring out the best in each other, and when it like obviously we're going at each other in practice, we're just trying to make each other comfortable. I can only imagine it must be like so difficult to come across the world and play at an Ivy League school when this isn't like your home. Like we're obviously used to it. We're not too far from our like home. So we're just trying to make them feel as comfortable as possible, but it's definitely a different environment for them. So just trying to help them in any way we can. Really.
Yeah. I think it really speaks to the family aspect culture that we have here as well, because obviously my home is like over a 24-hour flight away. So I would hope that I'd have people around me like that are supporting me as if it was my home family. And I really do have that. Not in these two, but outside of the room. No, but we're very grateful to have what we have here. And I think having so many internationals continually come into the program really just shows how much of a family we have here and how much support there is built around us. So yeah, that really speaks to the coaches and the staff that we have, and my teammates, of course. But
I also think it's good, like, we get to, like, know people from different sides of the country, and we also get to, like, travel there and, like, get to know, like also just knowing about, what is it, Vegemite? Like, I didn't know what Vegemite was until I knew them or whatever. And, like, also just, like, knowing what makes them tick and just learning more about them to make them feel more comfortable, and I can understand, like, how I can reach Kitty or how I can reach Marta or any of them. So it's just always good to, like, know people that are just, like, outside the U.S. and just having different type of connection than with other people who are, like, domestic, like me and Cece.
yeah, no, I was definitely watching. I didn't watch too much of the other events, but the basketball was definitely on my radar a lot. They were amazing. I had a young teammate, Jade Melbourne. She is one of my really good friends, and she was on the team as well. So it was just really cool to see how different ages can all come together and kind of be such a good team. And I think you could also see their culture was really good, just like celebrating the small things. Their bench energy was great. It was really cool to see, and to see them get the bronze was really, really, really good. Yeah.
The return of Lauren Jackson, first medal since she left.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And the coach of the New York Liberty is the coach.
Sandy, exactly. Yeah. Sandy's great. Yeah. I'm really glad that everything's coming together for her as well. I mean, coming off the Olympics and then winning WNBA championship, I mean, that's amazing. Just speaks to how good of a coach she is. Yeah, exactly. But I think we all come into this season, we all know our team goals, and that's kind of what's in the back of our mind every day. And we as captains are always reminding them of that as well. If we have a possession where there's not enough urgency or anything, we're like, that wouldn't have won us what we need to win. So I think keeping that in mind the whole time and knowing those is really important, and we definitely will get that this year. So.
Yeah, I mean, after the Liberty won the championship, we kind of got together and all said, like, only here that this happens. Like, only in New York City do you have the opportunity, especially at a place like Columbia, to get a world-class education and, like, world-class basketball. Like, last year especially, we were one of the best teams in the country, the top 25 team. We beat top 25 teams. So we're looking to kind of push the limits every single day, but especially this year, just attacking every practice as an opportunity, because we have the resources here. And, you know, the culture of now we see Liberty basketball. The Knicks are looking even better now, too. So New York City is just such a special place. And I think now, especially as our coaches are recruiting, they're kind of pushing that narrative as well because, I mean, you're not going to get, like, something like this anywhere else. So
yeah, and I think it's not always going to be easy as well. I mean, when it gets hard, you have to, like, kind of take a step back and be grateful for that. And know that, like, if it was easy, everyone would be doing it. And that's what we always remind each other, especially before practice. Like, we don't have easy practices. Our practices, we always say we win first, which means we go to battle every single day. And that's kind of where we build those championship mindsets. So just being grateful every day that we get to do that and that we get to push each other. Yeah.
Sorry, can you repeat that for a second?
One teammate that could really surprise everyone this year.
I mean, honestly, you said you have someone
I was going to say Riley.
Yeah,
I think Rye has just put in so much work this off season. We say it all the time, like, she seems like a different person.
Yeah.
So I think she can really surprise people. And, you know, the seniors that we lost this past year, obviously with Abby, but even, like, Nicole and Paige, there's so much space to fill, and I think she's really trying to fill that space as much as we are, like, us three are as well. So I think Riley could surprise a lot of people.
Yeah. Also, not even just on the court, like, as a leader as well. I think she's taking more of a role to just put herself as, like, a follower and put herself in a leadership position. And I think the three of us need more of that, and she's trying to step into that role as well. So she's just evolving as a person on the court and as a basketball player as well.
We just recently started doing, like, visualization.
Yeah.
And I actually really like it, so I think I'm going to kind of put that into my pregame routine. But Perry's a big, like...
Yeah, it's kind of all about, like, wellness. So I do a lot of, like, yoga and meditation, and like Kitty said, like, visualization, like, understanding, putting yourself inside the game before the game actually happens. It's like a very hard skill to obtain, but, like, once you get it, it becomes a lot easier. So, and it's, like, a proven, like, a scientific skill to use that, like, it actually works. So our first time doing it as a team was, I think, was it last week? Last weekend. And I think we all really enjoyed it, so I think we're going to tap into that a little bit more for these game days.
What?
Yeah. I mean, I think the main thing that we see from them right now is just a lot of energy and eagerness to learn, especially from people like, I mean, we have Mia Broom, who is probably the most eager freshman we've had for a long time. Like, she just wants to learn everything. And then the others, we have, like, a lot of smarts coming in. Like, Marta and Mars, they're two internationals, obviously, and they have great IQ for the game. So they're catching on to things really quickly. And then Nasi's athleticism is crazy, and we're kind of learning how to put that well into our system. So I think they all kind of bring different things. And then obviously we have Maria, the transfer as well. And Maria has like such a different game style to all of us, which I think is so exciting because it just adds another weapon to our offense and our defense. So yeah, I think they all just bring new exciting things to our basketball. And I think that just makes us more versatile and hard to guard. So
Yeah, absolutely. I think with these two people, I mean, they understand how much of a I like to, be very stern and talking, and they've understood that like that's the type of person I am, and they've also like carried that weight for me as well. So I've been able to also just like be more of a empathetic leader as well, and just understand my teammates a little bit more on the court as well. Defensively, I want to be the glue for the team defensively, and just understanding that defense is going to help us win a championship and reach our goals. So understanding that I can be the backbone for them as well, and help us lead us there.
that's a good question.
I'm excited for all of them.
Yeah.
I don't think there's one in particular, but I think we all look at it as an opportunity. We're really blessed to be in this position and to play for this program and to play against like top 25 talent like Duke and obviously Indiana and some of the other teams we're playing. But I think at the same time, like I said, we look at it as an opportunity, but we also know that we can compete with these schools, even though we're not considered a Power 4, Power 5 school. So, yeah, I think we're going to go into those games thinking that we're the better team and thinking that we can compete, because I think winning that mental battle first is going to, like, push us over the hump and really get us into that top 25 conversation ourselves. So I think last year especially we let a few of those games slip, and we want to make up for it. We want to get, like, that revenge. So, yeah, I think we have a little bit of a chip on our shoulder this year for sure.
Yeah. I think people often overlook Ivy League schools especially. So we have something that we say, like, prove ourselves right, because we know that we can do it. It's not proving others wrong. We're doing it for ourselves. So like C said, just going in with that mentality, we know we're the better team and we have the better culture. And at the end of the day, that's what's going to win it. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to all of those games as well, for sure.
Agreed. Also, not just for Columbia women's basketball, I think for the Ivy League as a whole, because the Ivy League together, like us, Princeton, Harvard, we are all very, very good teams. And I also think we get overlooked collectively as an Ivy League. So just kind of putting the Ivy League on the map to be part of that Power 4, Power 5 type of team.
Yeah, I think that, that first game of the last season was not a good one for us, for sure. I think we're coming in with the same mindset of every other game. But, I mean, for me, definitely starting off on a better foot than last year. I think last year we were still kind of finding our feet, whereas I think this year we've really kind of attacked the preseason, and we've been attacking each other every single day, getting ready for battle every single day. We've had a huge emphasis on that this year, so I think we'll be much more ready than last year. And just giving them like what Columbia women's basketball is. I don't think they really saw that at all last year, so I'm very excited to actually show them what we can do. Yeah,
and I think to go off what Kitty said before, we've been emphasizing winning first. So I think we're starting to acknowledge more that the win against Stony Brook isn't going to come like that day. It's going to come from the preparation leading up to that day. So we've really been trying to lean into that a lot, because we know that if we want to get to where we want to get to, it's not just going to like, the chips aren't going to fall into place on that day. We really have to prepare well and be like, use a lot of intention with our practices, skill workouts, whatever we go into, film sessions. So we're really focusing on that, and I think that's going to kind of help us go into like this first week and obviously the rest of non-conference as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think seasons past we've always fell short of our goals. So like Perry said, kind of outlining the goals before, we've never won an outright title for Ivy League, so that's definitely the big first thing in our mind. And then the Ivy tournament is where I think this year we've been much better at preparing ahead of time, like winning first. That's what we keep saying. And I think that's something that we'll definitely take more into consideration this year, like preparing earlier. And the wins don't come on the day. They come way before that. So I think kind of focusing on the preparation a lot more than the actual game itself, because if you're preparing well, like you do fall back on your preparation in these moments. So I think we have a really big emphasis on that this year, and I think that I'm very confident that we'll reach those goals if we keep tracking the way we're tracking right now. Yeah. I think when I was a freshman, it was a lot, and I remember being very stressed all the time because I just had never had that much on my plate, and I think my priority has always been basketball, like a little higher than academics. So I think it was always really hard when like you had so much schoolwork and you're like, damn, I really need to focus on this as well. But I think over the years I've gotten so much better at knowing what's more important like right now. So like if I do have an essay and I want to go shoot, like I might have to do the essay unfortunately, but like I think it's just like priorities and kind of managing your time so much better. We always talk about like how much free time you have in your day and using that to actually do something like productive. And I think that's what we've gotten so much better at as seniors. Now I'm like very rarely stressed about work because I just do it early, or I know that I made the decision and I need to deal with the consequences of that. So I think it's just kind of making decisions and knowing it's your choice what you're going to do in that moment. And if you make yourself stressed, that's your fault.
I think for me specifically, because I'm a transfer, last year as a junior I was taking like literature humanities and now I'm in CC. So it's definitely been a little bit more stressful compared to my last school, but I also know that like the pros outweigh the cons by so much, and you know sometimes I might have to stay up later and do more work, or sometimes I might miss an assignment if I shoot instead, but which rarely happens. But yeah, so I think like Kitty said, you just have to prioritize the right things, and my teammates actually have been able to help me a ton because Kitty didn't take Lit Hum as a junior; she took it as a freshman. So I'm able to like ask her questions about it, ask Perry questions about CC. So, kind of just using my resources and managing my time as well.
Yeah, going off of that, like utilizing your resources and then scheduling your time, prioritizing it beforehand. Like Sunday is the day that I literally schedule everything that I need to do for the week, and then also like planning it to like schedule time with like your friends or like studying with your friends. Like I think like if I'm doing things with other people but I'm getting stuff done, it makes it a lot easier when I'm like, damn, I really just have to do this paper by myself in my dorm. Like I don't want to do that. Whereas like we're in the conference room, we're in the lounge, just like hanging out doing work. That's just so much better, and you get a lot more done. Or just like also just you might not get a lot more done. I get a lot of stuff done. Maybe not in Butler with you and Paige, but like that's a lot easier for me rather than just kind of like doing it on my own. I get a little bit more sidetracked doing it that way.
Is that everybody?